Good Friday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allivo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Under clear skies, it's 51 degrees outside on the barn thermometer. I saw a handful of combines running soybeans last evening around southern Henry County. Interesting to note, I also saw that many fields in the same area that were just as green as they were back in July. It looks like it's going to be a prolonged harvest. A couple quick calendar reminders. Powered by Soy Biodiesel, next week is the Farm Science Review, and we will be on hand broadcasting all week long, starting off Monday with a preview, thanks to the folks at Homan Incorporated. Homan bringing value to your farm. Then on Tuesday, the folks from Ag Credit will be joining us. Ag Credit, financing the future of rural America. And Wednesday, we are joined by the folks from Ag Revolution. Now, on another note, the Ohio Cattlemen's Association is hosting 6 free educational meetings covering topics like grazing management, reproduction, and herd health. Meetings will include dinner and do require registration. You can visit ohiocattle.org for more information. Well, let's check in with Dale Menu as he has an update from Valent USA.
Joining me is Walker Cooper, Territory Account Manager for Valent USA. Hey, guys are thinking about running a combine coming up. Are there some things we should have noticed, or is the combine the place to do that?
As we look forward to the fall, I want to congratulate our Ohio growers on pushing through. Some of this corn looks really, really good. The combine is the end of the season for 2025. But the beginning of next growing season. So it's really a time that you got to observe, you got to take notes and build your plan. Look ahead to next year.
What are some things that we should notice that exist that you've got products that actually should make that not so much of an issue next year?
In corn to beans, we need to consider a lot of things, whether that's a fall application of Fierce and then building a residual program in the spring with one of the Fierces and Perpetuo. When we get into beans, we've got to talk seed treatment. I'm doing you a disservice if we don't talk about Intego. If you're struggling with soybean cyst nematode, the silent killer of yield, we need to consider Aveo, putting that on our seed coating. In the corn-on-corn scenario, coming back in with Maverick in the spring and building some sort of residual program, as well as maybe even thinking about a burn down in the fall, depending on what your fields are filled with. The 3 big ones that I get a lot of questions about and have seen a lot of have been ragweed, mare's tail, and Italian ryegrass. Those are all situations that we look for some sort of burn down, whether that would be in the fall or the spring, using the various products that we have there. Always a good time this fall to sit down with your local retail agronomist and your Valent Ohio rep to ask the hard questions. And
website for more information?
Valent.com.
That's Valent.com. I've been visiting with Walker Cooper, Territory Account Manager for Valent USA.
Thanks, Dale. Let's get a look now at our Friday weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Sunny and dry, that's the outlook for Ohio. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather Update. Wish I had more to talk about with you, but I don't. If you're looking for moisture, keep looking. I just don't think much of anything can make it down here. We're watching a disturbance trying to come through the northern Great Lakes as we move through the overnight tonight into tomorrow. It does rain out some moisture over Lake Superior, eastern parts of the UP of Michigan, and northern tier counties of lower Michigan. But I think all we end up with down here in Ohio is some cloud cover. At this point, just because I'm overly optimistic, I won't completely rule out a renegade shower, but it's not anything that's going to be well organized for your Saturday. And then we get into Sunday, we turn out partly to mostly sunny and pleasant. This next week is dry beginning to end Monday through Saturday. Overnight Saturday night into Sunday, maybe a few heat-based scattered showers and thunderstorms. Coverage only about 30 to 40%, but there is a small threat. We go into the next week, the week of the 22nd, nothing happening Monday. Frontal boundary passing overnight Monday night through Tuesday and into Wednesday, but I'm concerned that we're pushing the moisture with this front to the ends of it, so far north into Canada and far west into Oklahoma, Kansas, and we may end up being in the middle with nothing. So we're watching to see how that front unfolds right now as well. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Biodiesel isn't just a fuel, it's a game changer for your engine, your wallet, and your farm. Cleaner burning and efficient, biodiesel enhances engine life, power, and fuel economy. Plus, it delivers real value, adding $1.33 to every bushel of soybeans grown. That's 13% more value per bushel, directly tied to the biofuels market. Ready to turn soybeans into power and drive with purpose? Learn how at soyohio.org.
Get ready for the 63rd Annual Farm Science Review, September 16th through the 18th near London, Ohio. Explore hundreds of exhibits, field demonstrations, and educational sessions. Get pre-sale discounted tickets at participating OSU Extension offices, agribusinesses, or online at fsr.osu.edu. Plan your trip with the digital directory and mobile app, and follow Farm Science Review on social media. Don't miss the 63rd Farm Science Review, September 16th through the 18th.
An interview with Barry McGraw coming down in 3, 2, and 1. Joining me today is Barry McGraw. Barry is with Arable Research Labs. And Barry, a lot of neat things going on in your industry. First off, let's talk a little bit about the exciting things going on in the southern part of the state right now with the new facility.
Yeah, we're very excited. Arable, we started in Delaware, Ohio at Ohio Wesleyan University with the focus of converting soybean products to soy bio-based products, consumer industrial products, and using wet chemistry or wet synthesis to do that. Now we're expanding to Southern Ohio, Shawnee State University. We signed an agreement with them to build a facility for us, and that'll be more chemical engineering, polymer processing. So now we're getting in kind of polymers or commodity type polymers, so large quantities, and how to utilize soy to convert those materials into polymers.
Well, let's talk about some of the successes that Arable has seen with some of the products that are now on the market that people may be familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, we have a really good relationship with Dynamic Green Products, and they're punching out the products. So we developed the chemistry, we developed the formulation, soy-based chemistry, and they kind of work on the other end, commercialization, regulatory, production, and then also they have a great agreement with Stanley Black & Decker, which is DeWalt brand, Craftsman brand. So a lot of our products will have a DeWalt label on it, a Craftsman label, and then recently Mac tools. So we'll have we just saw a pallet of aerosolized Mac tool multi-use kind of penetrant hit the market. So those are going to be distributed through all their dealers. And then just recently, Dynamic Green Products made a deal with Do It Best stores, all the hardware stores throughout the U.S. So not only are we developing these products for one brand, but it's also going to be in multiple stores, even Home Depot, the DeWalt brand.
Well, it's neat. These are also products that farmers are using too on their operations. So they're growing it, they're using it, they're creating market demand, and obviously it's out there for the larger consumer population.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole purpose, creating demand for soybean farmers' product. And it's just an added bonus when you can develop products that they can use on their farm, whether it's a bar and chain oil, multi-use oil, engine oil, and so forth.
Well, another thing I think maybe folks don't hear a lot about, but a neat program you have is an internship program. And every year you guys bring a few interns in. Talk about where some of those interns come and the skills they gain in working with Arable.
Yeah, we had 2 interns this summer, which are great. One came from the University of Dayton, the other one the University of Xavier in Cincinnati area. So Blaine had an ag background and just added more chemical engineering and just added kind of skills that we needed through the summer, and then skills he could use in school and finishing up. So lately we've been really looking at interns that could be potential hires for Arable. So they were very good interns, and we look forward to just seeing what they do in the future.
Neat. It's neat you can generate that kind of pipeline. For those unaware, how many people are on staff at Arable?
Right now, about 12 staff. So kind of a mix between chemists, chemical engineers, polymer scientists, but yeah.
And for those not familiar, really the whole goal is to be doing that front leg research that in the past the Soybean Council had to fund other organizations to do, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of Arable Research Lab is efficiency. So efficiency, product development, and quickness. Before, the soybean industry was funding other companies or research development corporations or universities. Things were getting done, products were being developed. We've taken it to the next level in speed, efficiency, the quantity of research we can do with the same dollar.
Well, and that's obviously being recognized in the industry. As I've heard, we have other states now helping fund some of the research, correct?
Yeah, so Ohio founded Arable Research, and it was fully funded by the Ohio Soybean Council. Now we have 7 states. Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Michigan, North Dakota, and Kentucky, and then Nebraska is also thinking about joining.
Good deal. Again, my guest today is Barry McGraw, talking about all the good work being done on behalf of Ohio's farmers with Arable Research Lab. Barry, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
If your summer road trip leads you to Ohio's farm country, be sure to share the road with Ohio's farmers. Farm machinery moves slowly, makes wide turns, and needs extra space to avoid obstacles like mailboxes and guardrails. Let's all be mindful and make sure everyone gets home safe and sound this year. This message brought to you by the Ohio AgNet, OSU Extension Ag Safety and Health Team, and this station.
It's time now for today's market analysis, brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Call 574-566-2113 for information on soybean marketing to LDC.
Grain markets finished green all the way around on Thursday. Can we have a little bit of a nice finish to the week here on Friday? I'm thinking probably not. Here's the reason why. We've got a USDA report later today at noon. We're going to be seeing the WASDE report come out. I've got some insight on that, but let's talk about yesterday's action in the grain market first. Corn up about 1 to 3 after struggling all day long. Beans were leading most of the day, up 7 to 9 at the close, but wheat came on board quickly, 5 to 8 higher in Chicago at the close, 1 to 4 higher in Kansas City, and even Minneapolis wheat got into the green very, very late in the session, up 1 to 2. Not really seeing a lot of impressive news in any of those markets. They just were looking at trying to bounce a little bit after a really awful week up to this point. Pre-report volume trading session was low once again. As we take a look at the numbers, corn suffering through some of its lowest trade volume since 2023. The last time September corn yield fell below the average trade guess was back in 2011. 14 years ago, the biggest decline below the average trade guess was 1 bushel to the acre back in 2008. It looks like we're probably going to be seeing the numbers pull back from last month's WASDE estimate on corn yield. However, is it going to be a huge drop? Because right now the guess is 187 and change. I don't really think we're going to be seeing numbers go much below that. Of note yesterday as well, CONAB raised its forecast for its 2025 corn and soybean crops to new records. Corn crop increased to 139.7 million metric tons. Beans 171.5. Hey, you remember when we were back earlier this week and I was talking about a 175 million metric ton soybean crop out of Brazil? Yeah, all of a sudden we're getting back close to that pretty good here. Well, this is the story that we have. Once again, globally, too much supply. That plays into the WASDE report that is going to be coming out today. We'll talk about that here in just a bit. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look at how your markets closed on Thursday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. December corn closed up 2 3/4 cents, and March corn was up 2 3/4. November soybeans closed up 8 1/4, while January soybeans were up 7 3/4 cents. December Kansas City wheat closed up 3 cents, while December Chicago wheat was up 6 1/2, and December Minneapolis wheat closed up 2 cents. Now, in the overnight trade, prices are not doing very much in anticipation of the WASDE report that will come out at noon today. Currently, we have September corn unchanged at $3.99 and December new crop corn unchanged at $4.19 3/4. The only change is March of 26 corn. That's down 1/2 penny at $4.36 3/4 cents. September soybeans are unchanged at $10.15 1/4, with November new crop beans up 3/4 penny at $10.34 1/4, and January beans up 3/4 penny at $10.53 1/4 cents. Wheat for September, again unchanged at $5.03. December wheat, though, is down a penny at $5.20 1/2 cents, and July wheat down 3/4 penny. This is July's new crop wheat at $5.57 3/4 cents. In livestock, we had October live cattle close up $1.12 1/2 at $232 $92.27 October lean hogs closed up $1.35 at $98.17.5, and October feeder cattle closed $1.95 higher, $352.35. Well, thanks for joining us and have a great day. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.